welcome you all in the UN House in Brussels, the United Nations House. We have quite a few UN agencies residing here, overall some 30 in Brussels. But I'm pleased to welcome you on behalf of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR. And I'm very happy that you're all here for the screening of a movie that we will watch. Firstly, maybe let me start by thanking European Network on Independent Living for all the cooperation we have had. I have joined 5 months ago, so I cannot claim anything on this. Susanne is for much longer on the portfolio, but the cooperation dates back 15 years, I hear. To promote the right of persons with disabilities in Europe and the issue of community inclusion and deinstitutionalization. So an important reason for this is of course that independent living is being included and an overall all-encompassing right in the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which we as the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights are kind of the custodian of, and the good thing being that also the European Commission has ratified this treaty. So when it comes to rights, everything stands or falls with being included in the community, being active agents of one's lives and having services in place that enable you to be part of society like anyone else. The right to independent living embodies a very positive philosophy of thriving in the community. Yet, I mean, you know it better than I do probably, it is far from a reality for many people, and institutionalization remains a major human rights challenge in Europe, as human rights bodies have consistently highlighted, and despite the many efforts to replace institutions by community support services and personal assistance. EU funds have significant potential for positive change in this area, and we will call for the future EU budget to prioritize investment in human rights-based deinstitutionalization programs in the member states. Sometimes I wonder also whether the money in the European member states has led to more institutionalization, because we were just talking, I was based in Jordan before, where the Higher Council for Persons with Disability and others are adamant supporters of independent living, and maybe sometimes it is good to start from another place to begin with, but I'm not the expert on the issue, so you will tell me as well. So today we are celebrating the right of everybody to flourish in the community. We will watch the documentary Struggle to Have a Life, Disability Politics in Sweden. I will not spoil the movie by saying too much, but it is a truly powerful and personal depiction of the uphill battle to stay afloat under budget cuts and seemingly arbitrarily imposed legal and administrative barriers. It is a stark reminder to never take rights for granted. I think overall we are currently in a space where we cannot take human rights for granted, unfortunately, anymore, seeing a lot of backsliding on different rights. And it's also a film about the independent living movement pioneered by Adolf Ratzka. It shows how independent living can and should be done. So before handing over to Nadia Haddad, co-chair of INEL, allow me to wish you all a very nice evening together.
That's the benefit of having a personal assistant. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to European Independent Living Day that we are celebrating today. We're here to already thank you also very much for Christina and our whole team for hosting us. Because for us, symbolically, it's very important to be at the House of the United Nations, because once again, it shows the importance of our basic human right to live independently, regardless of the type of support we have or the type of disability we have. that it's recognized as a basic human right to live at equal level as all the other citizens. So thank you very much for this strong sign and also for your message. And indeed, since your previous director, Jan Janger, visited an institution here in Belgium and found it a horrible situation where really human rights were violated, we collaborated since then. And indeed, it's more than 15 years, and we hope that we can continue fruitfully until the end of all these institutions, regardless if it's paid on regional, national, or with European money. The money should be transferred back to community-based services, as you said, and to more personal assistance. And it should be embedded in law and legislation, but also within the population, that everybody who commands and blame when there is a building of something that segregates persons with disability from the rest of the community. So without further ado, we are here today to celebrate the Independent Living Day. We will look at a movie because the independent living movement in whole Europe started in the Scandinavian countries and especially in Sweden, thanks to Radka and all others, independent living pioneers who really permitted for many of us to learn very easily what it's about independent living and what it's about to have access to personal assistance, or what it's about having legislation that exists already. But like we hear, times are changing and time are regressing and authorities are there, and also the right wings, they're taking more and more part in Europe, and so we have even more barriers and battles to win than before. And that's why I think the screening of this movie will highlight a little bit, it will be an eye-opener about how difficult it is sometimes to live independently. And despite this, we all want to live independently, and so we go for it, because we have no other alternative than to go on first. But it's something that should animate the discussion between us later on. That we need, despite all the battles, despite all the barriers, we need not to forget that we are here to find a constructive solution for all this. That is feasible wherever we live, if it's in Jordan or in Brussels or anywhere else in Europe or elsewhere in the world. It should be something that goes always. So without further ado, let's go and see the movie, and after all, there will be an open debate. We will have also some people online who will join us and clarify a little bit more things that maybe are not so clear for us, and we will have the opportunity to ask them questions. But let's start with the screening of the movie. Thank you all for being here.